Okay, so now that the America 250 celebrations and the World Cup is over, we can get back to reality. And hopefully that means we also don't have to listen to this guy anymore. I mean, now that both events are over, what has he got to brag about now? I guess the only thing he has to talk about is this Route 66 Centennial celebration, which nobody really cares about outside of their borders. Or the 2028 Olympics, I guess? Either way, I hope we don't have to see this little guy anymore. But the reality is that the last few months, they have gone up slightly. And I fully expect July to be up as well. Maybe slightly, but like not a lot. But you also have to consider too, I mean, the World Cup has been in the United States and Canada. There's going to be a lot of cross-border travel. And we also know that the increase has been by land, not air. And we know which travelers tend to stay longer and spend more. So, am I worried? Not really. I mean, every day that goes by, something happens, and it's just not helping the cause. Like the latest thing is the threat for 50% tariffs on Canada again. So in today's video, I got two reports from two major border crossings in Canada. And I'm going to let everybody know why I'm not worried at all. Before I start, I just want to remind everybody about my new Substack page, as well as my Buy Me a Coffee page. If you're new to my channel, or this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, my channel is no longer monetized. But I'm continuing to give the news that people need to hear, and being the voice for many Canadians and international viewers of my channel. So if you do like my content and you want to support my channel, these are probably the best two ways. I'll leave a link to them in the description below, and I thank you for your support. Alright, let's get started with the first report out of my home province of British Columbia.
Vehicle traffic remains down significantly here at the Peace Arch and other crossings right across the country.
Much of what's happening now is very emotional, and Canadians are angry and they're upset, and that doesn't just repair itself overnight. It takes effort and time to rebuild those relationships of trust.
Okay, the words trust and United States does not go together right now, and probably won't for like decades. And one thing that really bothers me is that people think that once the orange whoopee cushion is out of the office, everything's gonna go back to normal. I think there was a video a couple days ago that it published where they were interviewing Canadians, and it doesn't bother me. I mean, you know, everyone's free to do whatever they want, but it feels like some Canadians and, you know, international people as well, when they say that they are gonna go back to the United States after Taco Tuesday is gone, it feels like they're not looking at the root problem, and they're blaming everything on Taco Tuesday, which he is a big problem. But the biggest problem for me is the people that actually put him there. And to be honest, I can't understand why people don't see that. Like when Taco Tuesday is eventually gone, and you know people think everything is going back to normal, it would not sit right with me going to the United States and sitting in a restaurant or a diner or going to a retail store, and knowing that somebody, whether it's a staff or even the owner of the business, voted for Taco Tuesday. I would not feel right giving my money to them. So let me know in the comments below. Do you have the same sentiment as me, or am I the only one?
Statistics Canada says Canadian resident return trips by vehicle over the U.S. border dropped by 35% in April year over year. Canadian resident return trips from the U.S. by plane also went down by 20% last month compared to April of 2024. The director of the Border Policy Research Institute at Western Washington University says Trump tariffs, travel boycotts, and the low loonie are all driving factors.
I see they're still pushing the narrative that the exchange rate is still a factor. Let me show the exchange rate right now. I mean, it doesn't look like there's a huge change since like 2023 or even 2024. And for the record, I've gone to the United States. I've shopped in the United States when it was in the low 60s. Yeah, so go shove your exchange rate excuse.
We've seen some pretty high-profile media cases of people being detained by U.S. Customs and Border Protection, and I've spoken to a lot of Canadians who think, oh, I'd just rather not put myself in the potential for that to happen.
It is gone!
A good example of where things are at, the Blue Jays in Seattle this past weekend, but many Canadians noticeably absent from T-Mobile Park. This after the Seattle Hospitality Group even launched its Open Arms for Canada campaign, offering parity discounts for Canadians to show their support.
Ugh, I hate discounts. Like, seriously, stop it with the discounts. You know, they did the same thing last year, and when they started the promotion, they thought, like, tons of Canadians would come down. And then, like, a few months later, when the promotion ended, and they really couldn't blame the exchange rate because they were giving it to us at par, they basically blamed it on our economy, and saying that we're, like, too poor to go to the United States. Well, it seems like Groundhog Day all over again. Well, maybe we should call it Groundhog Year.
What goes on in the other Washington is not coming from this Washington. And we want to open our arms. You know, the term that has been coined is we know your elbows may be up, but our arms are open.
Oh, I gotta pause again. No, your arms aren't open. It's your wallet and cash register. And it kind of irks me when this guy says that they're not the same as the other Washington. Well, is the other Washington, are they not your federal government? Is he not your president? You see, the problem is that the orange guy represents you. And he's the captain of your hockey team, unfortunately. And you're a teammate. But you can't say that you're not part of the team, because you are. The proper way to resolve this is to get a new team captain, but nobody in your government seems to have any balls to do it. And when this guy says what happens in the other Washington is not happening here, or in his Washington, there are still 1,530,923 people that agree with what the other Washington is doing. So please don't give us that bullshit. I mean, we're smart enough to see through this. If you want to blame this on anyone, go blame it on the 1.5 million that voted for Taco Tuesday in your state.
On the flip side, the number of trips from U.S. residents into Canada has also gone down by just over 10%. This was the third consecutive month of year-over-year declines. Border policy experts are worried this could become the new normal as trade tensions continue to simmer between the two countries.
Well, this is the new normal. Just face it. I mean, stop clouding things over. But I actually thought the trips from the U.S. into Canada were up, and not down to 10%. I might have to ask Professor Wayne Smith on this. I know you're watching this, so hit me up on Discord. Now, I want to go to the other side of the country, into Quebec, and I want to thank YUL Spotter for sending me this report. And when I talked to him about this, I asked him, is this normal? Is it normal to only have, 8 cars there? And what he told me is that this should normally be packed, especially during the summer season. So just this image alone says a lot right now. But let's get started on this report.
This is the height of the summer vacation period in Quebec, but you wouldn't notice it here. At the U.S. border crossing between Laculle and Champlain, New York, very few cars are entering the U.S. Many Canadians are staying away.
Our son is over there, so we'll go see him, but other than that, we're not going to the U.S.
Now, I've always said, if you're going to the United States for work or you're going for family reasons, there's nothing we can do about that, and there is no other choice. Now, some people might say, get your family to come north into Canada. Yeah, I mean, that is a possibility, but I also think that we have to consider everyone's family situation. I'm bringing this up because I had one GTL viewer that actually emailed me, and she told me that she has to go to the United States because of her family, and she felt guilty for it. And her family member is not mobile enough to be able to come to Canada. So I told her, I don't hold that against her. I mean, family is family. And it's also a reason why I would still go to the United States if there was a family or friend issue that I had to go to. But they would have to be on their deathbed in order for me to do that. But when it comes to family, I think we can make exceptions here. And I'm here to tell everybody that we need to also consider everyone's situation. I've had people tell me that they go visit their family in the United States, but they don't go to any restaurants, don't go to any shops, they go straight to their family and then straight back over the border. Some even told me they pack their own lunch because they don't want to go to any restaurants there. So in situations like this, I think we have to be understanding.
24.1 million passenger vehicles crossed into the U.S. in the last 9 months, almost 2 million less at the same time last year and 5 million less than the year before.
Well, my girlfriend refuses to cross the border because of the political situation.
And the number of Canadians coming back by car was down 4% in April, according to the most recent data available from Statistics Canada.
The politics, the U.S. politics, the president and the tariff.
I know for some Canadians, the tariffs are actually the big thing. I mean, for me, it's the 51st state and everything else that I've always spoke about in my videos. But for some reason, I guess the tariffs are a big deal for people. Maybe they have businesses that rely on the U.S. I don't know. But what I do know is that every tariff threat, every insult, every dumbass thing that comes from the United States government and their 77 million followers, it's just making Canadians that we're always on the fence to say, okay, yeah, that would cross the line for me.
The new 50% tariffs the U.S. president is imposing on Canadian exports and Donald Trump's recent rhetoric about Canada.
They need us to survive. Without us, there's no way they can survive.
Is raising a lot of anger among Canadians, and they're showing it by spending as little time as possible south of the border.
If I want to fish, like St. Lawrence River is 5 minutes from my place, I can go up north. I have 3 or 4 friends that have cottages up north. I can go fishing up there.
You know, that's the thing that I don't understand is that the United States doesn't realize that we have options. We can stay in our own country. We can go visit Europe. We can go to Asia, Mexico, anywhere else. We don't have to go to the United States. It's not a requirement. It's not mandatory. It was convenient, but we got options. Just like we got options for alcohol or other U.S. products that we used to buy. I actually find it comedic that the United States is offended that we don't want to go to Disneyland or Times Square or the Yosemite Park or whatever else anymore. This is when you know their soft power is dying.
Many Canadians admit they have no problems with their southern neighbors as citizens, but it's the political leadership in the White House that is keeping Canadians at home. Many Americans, though, wish Canadians would put the politics aside and drive south for a visit.
It's great in America, and yeah, feel free to come on over whenever you want.
And I love where I live, so I think that people should come see where I live.
Yeah, that's a big no for me. Sorry. But this is what I was talking about earlier, that global news is reporting that many Canadians are upset with the government and that we like the people. Well, I do like the people. I mean, the ones that didn't vote for Taco Tuesday. It's the 77 million that I have a problem with. And those 77 million are not just going to magically disappear. They're going to be there. And they're just going to vote for the next dumbass that's going to run for president that's going to follow in Taco Tuesday's footsteps. And that's the problem I have. And who knows, maybe these 2 US citizens that he just interviewed, maybe they did vote for Taco Tuesday. Or maybe they didn't. But the problem is we don't know. I don't know how to convince Canadians to just look one layer down and realize that, hey, it's not just Taco Tuesday. There's a bigger problem.
Because it's beautiful.
Many Canadians say they will wait for a new U.S. administration before returning to the States, but many political and economic factors could still be at play to see if that actually happens.
Well, we still have well over 2 years, so a lot of damage could be done between now and then. But seeing these 2 reports and physically seeing that there's no cars at the border, it tells me that the boycott sentiment is still strong. And now that the World Cup is out of the way, which was skewing the numbers, we're going to get back to reality. And in the next few days, I have another report that's going to be coming out of Maine. We haven't heard from them in a while, and I honestly can't wait to rip into this one. So let me know your thoughts and comments below. Now that the World Cup's out of the way, do you think reality is going to hit the United States? Closing out this video, I would like to thank Camos Darkfly from our Discord server for posting this photo from Pasqua, Saskatchewan. He mentioned that he posted this photo from his work, so I'm assuming that he works on a train. But thank you, Camos Darkfly, for sharing this with the community. Now, I want to take this time to talk to the GTL community, because I realize I don't do that very much. I mean, just like reporting and then I end the video. And I know most of the casual viewers are gone by now. But I am happy to see that many in the GTL community are moving over to Substack, or at least signing up an account and following me. It's free to sign up, and you don't actually have to pay for my Substack. You can just subscribe, and then you'll get all my newsletters. And for those that went with the monthly and annual paid subscriptions, I really appreciate the support for the work that I do. But to me, it's not really about getting the subscribers or the paid accounts or anything like that. It's just making sure that the GTL community can continue. Because this whole demonetization thing has kind of given me a wake-up call. Like, what am I going to do if the channel actually disappears? How are people going to find me? Because if that does happen, knock on wood, I will start posting up my videos on Substack, and the GTL community will continue there. So I highly encourage everyone to sign up for Substack. It is free, and just subscribe to my page. At least this way you'll be able to get a hold of me. And if you do end up going with the paid subscriber options, I sincerely appreciate it. You don't have to. It's only if you want to. And to everybody that has contributed to my Buy Me a Coffee account, I really appreciate it. I don't know what to say, to be honest. All I can say is thank you, and I'll continue the work that I do. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international point of view, without the US media bias, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you'll be notified of my future videos. And don't forget to hit the bell icon and select all as well. Now, if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that are going to show up on your screen shortly. Thanks, everyone. I'll catch you in the next one.